Good evening. Almighty put the moon in the sky to remind us that our darkest moments lead to our brightest. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. Bahrain to present second voluntary national review at high-level political forum on sustainable development in New York. His Majesty the King lauded Bahrain's outstanding human rights achievements and praised solid UK relations. Bahrain backed outcomes of Sudan's neighboring countries summit in Egypt. Dubai and Sharjah announced Islamic New Year holiday. Record monsoon rains have killed more than 100 people in northern India over 2 weeks. Indian Space Research Organization launched India's third moon mission from Sriharikota. News in detail. His Majesty the King lauded Bahrain's outstanding human rights achievements and praised solid UK relations. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa has lauded Bahrain's landmark human rights achievements, becoming a pioneering role model in this field. His Majesty the King emphasized the kingdom's firm approach in protecting human rights and supporting everything that would respect them in light of its full commitment to all the relevant international charters, conventions and laws, being integral parts of its culture, Arab identity and Islamic religion. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa commended the fruitful and successful efforts made by the government led by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, to consolidate human rights values, spread awareness of them, and ensure that they are exercised freely and independently. His Majesty also appreciated the role played by the Council of Commissioners of the National Institution for Human Rights and the tasks and responsibilities it performs for the sake of developing and protecting human rights. His Majesty King Hamad praised the report issued today by the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, in which Bahrain was removed from the list of human rights priority countries, which reflects the kingdom's important human rights achievements and distinguished record based on its modern and advanced constitution and laws. Bahrain to present second voluntary national review at high-level political forum on sustainable development in New York. A high-level Bahraini delegation is in New York City to participate in the United Nations High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development and present the Kingdom's second voluntary national review on the progress made towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. The 2023 forum is held under the theme Accelerating the Recovery from the Coronavirus Disease and the Full Implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development at all levels, and will take place from 10th to 19th of July at the UN headquarters in New York. The delegation includes Housing and Urban Planning Minister Amna bint Hamad Al Ramaihi, Sustainable Development Minister Noor bint Ali Al Khulaif, Undersecretary for Political Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa, Chief Executive of Electronic Transformation at the Information and E-Government Authority Dr. Zakaria Ahmad Al Khaja, in addition to a number of officials. Bahrain backed outcomes of Sudan's neighboring countries summit in Egypt. The Kingdom of Bahrain has expressed its utmost support for the outcomes of the Sudan's neighboring countries summit, which was held today in Cairo. The summit called on the conflict parties in Sudan to abide by an immediate and sustainable ceasefire, end the war, protect lives and property, facilitate access to humanitarian aid, and affirm full respect for Sudan's sovereignty, utility, and territorial integrity. It also urged non-interference in Sudan's internal affairs. In a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs expressed Bahrain's appreciation for the diplomatic efforts of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, in hosting Sudan's neighboring countries summit in the presence of the chairperson of the African Union and the Arab League Secretary General. Bahrain attended Arab-Indian Partnership Conference. Head of the Asian and Pacific Affairs Department at the Foreign Ministry Ambassador Fatma Abdullah Al Dain and Head of the Arab African Affairs Department Ambassador Ahmad Muhammad Al Tarifi attended the 6th edition of the Arab-Indian Partnership Conference. The event was held in New Delhi in the presence of ministers, undersecretaries, and ambassadors, in addition to leading businessmen. The conference focused on economic cooperation, investment opportunities between Arab countries and the Republic of India, towards building sustainable partnerships in the field of food security, supply chains, and energy. The Arab-Indian Partnership Conference builds on the outcome of First Arab-Indian Ministerial Forum, which was hosted by the Kingdom of Bahrain in 2016. High school graduates requested to register for scholarships via email. High school graduates who could not register for scholarships remotely are requested to send their choices via email no later than Monday, corresponding to July 17th. Students are required to enclose in their full name, CPR numbers, grant average point, and contact numbers, said Education Ministry Assistant and Secretary for Educational Services, Kafaya Al-Anzur. Students are also required to cite the order of their choices from among the majors published in the approved scholarship plan, not less than 5 and not more than 12 choices. Students can print the scholarship plan for his track from the website of the Ministry of Education, which would help them fix their choices. Now we will be back after a very short break. The 16th branch of Megamart and Macromart supermarkets in Bahrain has opened in Sahla. The best offers are available to the customers at affordable rates. Everyone is welcome. During and around the opening day, a variety of fish including salmon, meat and dairy products, roastery, frozen items, food and non-food items, groceries, fruits and vegetables, electronics, garments and ready-to-eat food items are available to the customers at affordable rates. Hearty welcome to all. Megamart and Macromart, your favorite shopping destination. Welcome back. Dubai and Sharjah announced Islamic New Year holiday. Dubai's Government Human Resources Department has announced dates for the upcoming Islamic New Year holiday. According to reports in local media, the government has announced Friday, July 21st as a paid holiday for all public sector workers. It means Dubai government employees will have public holidays corresponding with federal government rules. The Sharjah government announced the date for the Islamic New Year holiday for public sector employees. According to a statement by the Department of Human Resource, the Hijri New Year holiday will begin on Thursday, corresponding to July 20th, 2023. The official working hours will resume on Monday, corresponding to July 24th, 2023. Saudi Arabia to host GCC Central Asia Summit on July 19th. Saudi Arabia will host a summit of the Gulf Cooperation Council and Central Asian countries on July 19th in Jeddah. Custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman has sent invitations to leaders of all countries in the two blocs to attend the upcoming summit. Saudi Ambassador to Kuwait, Prince Sultan bin Saeed, handed Kuwait's Crown Prince Mishal Al-Ahmad Al-Jaber Al-Sabah an invitation from King Salman to the Emir of Kuwait on Tuesday. King Salman has also sent an invitation to Kazakhstan President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, the Saudi press agency reported. Soda sweetener aspartame now listed as possible cancer cause, but it's still considered safe. The World Health Organization's cancer agency has deemed the sweetener aspartame found in diet soda and countless other foods as a possible cause of cancer, while a separate expert group looking at the same evidence said it is still considered the sugar substitute safe in limited quantities. The differing results of the coordinated reviews were released early Friday. One came from the International Agency for Research on Cancer, a special branch of the WHO. The other report was from an expert panel selected by World Health Organization and another UN group, the Food and Agriculture Organization. Associated Press reported today. Record monsoon rains have killed more than 100 people in northern India over 2 weeks. Schools and colleges were closed after record monsoon rains led to massive waterlogging, road caves in, collapsed homes, and gridlocked traffic in large parts of northern India, killing more than 100 people over 2 weeks, officials said Thursday. At least 88 people died, 42 of them in the past 5 days, and more than 100 were injured in the worst hit mountainous Himachal Pradesh, where cars, buses, bridges, and houses were swept away by swirling floodwaters, a state government statement said. The region is nearly 500 kilometers north of New Delhi. 12 people have died of rain-related incidents since Wednesday in Uttar Pradesh. Authorities used helicopters to rescue nearly 300 people, mostly tourists, who were stranded in the Chandartal area in Himachal Pradesh since Saturday. They included 7 sick people who were airlifted on Tuesday, the government said. Nearly 170 houses have collapsed and another 600 were partially damaged by heavy rains and landslides in the state, the State Emergency Operations Center said. In New Delhi, residential areas close to the Jamuna River were flooded, submerging roads, cars and homes, leading to the evacuation of thousands of people from low-lying areas. Indian Space Research Organization launched India's third moon mission from Sriharikota. Chandrayaan-3, India's third lunar exploration mission, took off from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh on Friday afternoon in hopes to launch the country among the elite group of nations to have achieved a soft landing on the moon's surface. The moon's missions follows the Indian Space Research Organization's Chandrayaan-2, which failed a desired soft landing on the lunar surface nearly 4 years ago in September 2019, after the lander's communication failure with the ground stations at an altitude of just 2.1 kilometers from the surface of the moon. Chandrayaan-3 will journey for over a month before landing on the lunar surface later in August. If successful, the mission will make India the only fourth nation after the United States, the former Soviet Union, and China to have accomplished the task. The ISRO explained the 3 main objectives of this rupees 6,150 million mission: safe and soft landing on the moon, to demonstrate the rover roving on its surface and study its environment. The spacecraft consists of a 6-wheeled lander and rover module, which is configured with payloads to provide data related to the moon's surface. Chandrayaan-3 consists of an indigenous lander module, propulsion module and a rover with an objective of developing and demonstrating new technologies required for interplanetary missions, the ISRO explained. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I am Vinod Narayan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.